Welcome to Studying with KJ. Today, we'll be going over what are prime numbers. Now, before we get into solving some example problems, we must first understand the definition of a prime number. And I have that definition written here. So, what are prime numbers? A prime number is a whole number greater than 1 that only has two factors, 1 and the number itself. So now that we have an understanding of the definition of a prime number, we can get into some example problems. So let's look at these example of prime numbers below. Now these are some of the more common prime numbers that you'll see. So if we look at A, the first number is 3. Now 3 only has two factors, which is 1 and the number itself, and that number is 3. So 1 and 3 are the only two factors of 3, or the only two numbers that can be multiplied together to make 3. Or another way to think of it is 1 and 3 are the only two numbers that can be evenly divided into 3. Same thing goes for B. B, which is 5, only has two numbers or two factors, and those factors are 1 and 5. Only those two numbers can be multiplied together to make 5, and only those two numbers can be evenly divided into 5. So that makes 5 a prime number. 7, same thing. The only two factors for 7 is 1 and 7. And the same thing goes for D, which is 11. The only two factors for 11, or the only two factors that can be multiplied together, or the only two numbers that can be multiplied together to make 11 is 1 and 11. So those are the more common prime numbers that you will see. Now, let's go on to these example problems here. So, for 1 through 5, we need to find the factors of these numbers below and determine if they are prime numbers. So, let's find all the factors of 29. Now, we know that typically odd numbers are prime numbers. So, in this case, 29 only has two factors. 29 is an odd number, so the only two factors of 29 are 1 and 29. So those two are the only two numbers that can be multiplied together to make 29, or 1 and 29 are the only two numbers that can be evenly divided into 29. So let's look at 2. Now, not all odd numbers are prime numbers, and 2 is an example of this. So we know for a fact two factors of 39 are 1 and 39, but those aren't the only two factors of 39. There's two more factors, and those factors are 3 and 13. So 39 isn't a prime number because it has more than two factors. It has four factors, so that will make 39 a composite number. So that means that 39 isn't prime. That isn't one of our answers. So now let's go on to 3. Now I know I said that typically odd numbers are prime numbers. And also that means that even numbers, more time than not, are composite, which means they aren't prime. Now, an exception to that is 2. I know 2 is a even number, but these are one of the even numbers, or the only even number that is prime. The only two factors of 2, or there are only two factors of 2, 1 and 2. So that makes 2 a prime number. You can only multiply 1 and 2 together to get you 2. So let's go on to 4. Find all the factors of 25. Now we know that the first two factors of 25 are 1 and 25, but we have two more factors, which is 5, or 5 times 5. So we only write down 5 one time. Put a comma up there to separate 13 and 39, so you guys won't get confused. So back to 4. Yeah, 5 times 5 gives you 25, but we only write down 5 one time. So 25 has more than two factors, so that makes 4, or 25, a composite number, which isn't a prime number. So let's go on to our last one, 5. 5 is 101. Now 101 only has two factors, and those two factors are 1 and 101, because those are the only two numbers that can be multiplied together to give you 101, or those are the only two numbers that can be evenly divided into 101. So let's circle all the ones that are prime number just so you guys know or highlight. So we know 1, which is 29, is a prime number. 2 isn't a prime number because it has more than 2 factors. It has 4 factors. 3, which is 2, is a prime number. 4 isn't a prime number, and 5 is a prime number. So that concludes today's lesson. Remember, the more you go over these type of problems, the better you'll get. Thanks for studying with KJ.